Oh, hell. This episode of Only Murders in the Building tells us all about the Westies and Dudenoff's backstory. We finally get to meet Helga, and I think one of my theories is about to prove true with a couple episodes left. It's time for Only Murders in the Building, episode review, and theory time. Yes, this episode for me was fun all around. I always love these episodes that can look back and really tie things together in terms of individual story and kind of things going on. I felt all season the Westie besties were always kind of red herring, especially with Dudenoff. It didn't make sense to have so many potential people be a suspect. Overall, if anything, it felt more like good casting flaunting, and I think the Westie besties all around have been great cast and just fun to have in the season here on season 4. And having them kind of all retell how they met Dudenoff and what exactly happened the night that Dudenoff died wasn't a compelling piece of work, in my opinion. Highlighted best by Kumail Nanjiani giving a poorly done replica of the A Few Good Men monologue, or, between Tom Cruise's and Jack Nicholson's character of, you can't handle the truth. And that type of stuff. And just a fun overall backstory that really highlights why in this show it's very clear that some people are going to be easy prime suspects and some people aren't. And when the people they make prime suspects that aren't, they really tell fun backstories with them out through all. So I really enjoyed this episode. Some other stuff I didn't enjoy too much. Obviously, we're going to be getting the wedding of, Loretta and Oliver this finale, which I'm happy we're getting a wedding. But it does make me worry that Loretta may be the next dead, or is Loretta actually somebody connected to these murders? Maybe some of those people in my comments last week saying Loretta is the killer, maybe she's going to be it. But we did get this week was Helga. And I really appreciated how they handled Helga and how she really sewed up all of the Westie bestie storylines. The pig was hers. Why she was worried about, Saz dying by checking around there and talking on the walkie and stuff like that, and getting the kind of confirmation at the end we'll get into later, I think was just fun to have, and seeing the Westie besties go and get all surprised was a really good time. The actors were actually pretty decent throughout, including Zach Galifianakis really connecting with Oliver. And then, as always, Eugene Levy is just comedic gold, and pairing him beside Steve Martin is pretty much putting two of the greatest comedians of the last 40, 50 years in the same room together to be funny. It's a match made in heaven. And Steve Martin, again, somebody who's just been so good for so long. Really loved his performance and holding back his anger. Overall, though, the big hook at the end of this episode was Helga saying that there was somebody that she had worked with that was kind of her protege, Saz's protege, that is, who was also an action star. And shock, it's Paul Rudd's character, who was in the hospital shot. Now, one of my theories from a couple episodes ago is somebody shot Paul Rudd's character in hopes of killing him to silence us. He is one half of the group that killed Saz. He might have been the body mover himself, could be somebody who gets from one side to the other quickly as a stunt person. He's been on my radar because I don't think you can bring Paul Rudd back just to be kind of a side character, as a false actor. So I'm confident he's going to be one half of our murder duo this season, and I'm wondering if we're going to start next episode maybe with him murdered or being moved away. Big questions are going to come with that, and I'm still sticking to my theory. I think the writer and I think Paul Rudd teamed up to take out Saz, thinking they were setting up a big glory project here where he gets to be acting again as a stunt person in this movie because maybe Saz was going to stop him from doing that. and the writer gets to create a murder mystery he can watch in real time and maybe influence his writing that he has on the movies that he's trying to make. I think it's a match made in heaven. I think it's a theory that works overall. And I think it leaves the I'm watching you person, the person who is the overall person watching them this season, as next season's final killer if Murders in the Building ends after 5 seasons. I would love it if all of the red herring to season 1 sets up a narrative, sets up a big bad that doesn't end this season but continues on the next season and really just, I think, delivers a fun finale cliffhanger overall. Other people who you can suspect still, I mean, Howard is the big bad is being put out on there. I saw people saying Lester, Loretta maybe being the big bad. I'm hoping it's somebody that we saw in season 1 that was involved in season 1 because I think it's important that happens. Now, Jan hasn't came back up this season at all. Is there a chance that Jan kills, Paul, the stunt character here, as a revenge for her lover Saz dying? Maybe she's onto that. Maybe she's figuring that out. We're definitely going to get some of her, Jan, back this season. And I'm just looking forward to everything else going on here. I thought that was interesting. There was no Howard this episode. Maybe making those people who are pro-Howard being the killer theories a little bit better. And, if he's watching people, did he know that Dudenoff, all the stuff from the Westie Besties to begin with, and he was throwing them off the trail? That's something that people were talking about. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I think that one of the directors are still potentially at risk because they knew about the Dudenoff apartment, and somebody had to know the Oh Hell passcode to get in. I think Paul Rudd's character is one half the murder group. I think that's going to be confirmed. Whether he survives all the way to the next episode or not to tell us who is the other murderer, we'll have to wait and see. And we're going to probably get something fantastic at this wedding that may lead to another murder of maybe Jan, maybe Loretta. I don't think one of the big 3 goes, but I'm just looking forward to the end of this story and trying to put the pieces together. I'm still on team it was the writer. Bev is still up there as an option too. Who knows? And obviously the director's sisters, the brother sisters, having the connection to Dudenoff, maybe knowing about that apartment. That leaves some potential there too. But I really like the Westie Bestie backstory here. I like that they're not our killers, and it adds a different layer to this. And yeah. And I'll be honest, even at the end, Mabel kind of being alone in her apartment, putting a pig up, there's some people out there who thinks Mabel's the big bad killer, the big bad villain of the whole show so far. I don't believe that either, just like I don't think I believe the Howard thing, but crazier things can happen. Tell me your theories below. Do you really think that Paul Rudd playing the stunt actor is part of the killing this season? I definitely do. And who do you think is another killer that happened? Tell me your thoughts, all of that down below. And do you buy the Westie Bestie story? Either way, we're going to be back here next Monday night to see the next episode of Only Murders in the Building. So like and subscribe to that, as well as like and subscribe for all the other TV show movies and sports reviews here you get on Josh Does Movies. And I look forward to seeing you all next week or wherever else you find me on the channel. But it's 11 p.m. for me here, and I'm just going to tell you all, have a good night, and can't wait to see your theories in the comments below.